Hey everyone, I'm Elisa with EECC Travels and I have lost over 60 pounds in less than a year. And a lot of you have noticed my weight loss and have asked me what I've been doing, so I've made this video to tell you what's happening. So in June of last year, I started this weight loss journey, and my weight is something I have struggled with for a very long time. I had 2 pregnancies, Ethan when I was 21 and then Cameron and Colby when I was 25. I gained a lot of weight with having twins and also had to have a C-section. So that did some changes to my body that I have been battling ever since. They are going on 22 years old and we're still having some of the same issues. So losing weight and gaining weight has been something that I have dealt with since they were born. I was able to bounce back pretty quick with my 21-year-old body after that pregnancy, but not so much after having twins. And I have lost weight multiple times over, their life of 21 years, but I've never been able to keep it off. And it was kind of a yo-yo thing that I would lose it, I would get skinny, and I had issues with my body because of the C-section, and I would just kind of throw my hands up and say, forget it, and I would gain all the weight back. And every time I gained weight back, I gained more and more and more. So a year ago, well, it's May now, so this was June of last year, so little under a year that I've been on this journey. So June of last year, I decided I'm done. I'm tired of carrying all this extra weight around. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way I look. I have to do something. And it was a struggle to get started. Over the year before that, I was like, I would start and I would stop and I would start and I would stop, and I couldn't get anywhere with any weight loss. I even started another channel called Trimmer for Travel, thinking that, well, if I am making these weight loss videos, it'll keep me going, and it didn't work. So I started the channel whenever I had to cut all my hair off. That was 3 years ago. And thinking I would do like a weight loss and hair growth journey, and that only lasted about 3 or 4 episodes. And then last year when I started back, I was like, okay, let's do this. And I started the channel back again, and that only lasted, I don't know, maybe 5 episodes. But it was not that I wasn't still trying to lose weight, I just didn't have time for a second channel. So that's why that channel went away, and it didn't seem like a lot of people were interested in weekly weight loss videos. So I didn't make them anymore. And here we are, months later, and through our travel videos, you guys have noticed, hey, you've really lost a lot of weight. What are you doing? And especially in this last couple of months, I've been getting that question a lot. And it's like, okay, it's time for me to sit down and explain what I've been doing to lose weight. So at this point, I am 62 pounds down. I'm very happy with the way I look. I'm very happy with the way I feel. I have more energy. I'm exercising. I'm eating healthy. I'm moving so much more, and I can feel it everywhere. I'm so excited that I just bought my first pair of jeans in years. Like, I've worn nothing but stretchy pants, and I'll be honest, I got on stretchy pants right now because they're comfortable. But I did buy my first 2 pairs of jeans, and I, looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I can wear jeans again. Yeah, so it's the little wins like throughout that have really made this important to me. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down in a couple of different ways. First, I'm gonna say what we do on the road, because we travel pretty much full time. We are home right now, but we are on the road more than we're at home. So I can call myself a full-time traveler. That's what we do. This is our jobs. This is what we do all the time as we travel. And I spend more time on a cruise ship, it seems, than I do at home some months. And recently we were on a trip for a whole month. We went to the UK for a few days, then we got on Norwegian Aqua, which was a transatlantic. We were on that ship for 10 days. Then we jumped on a Virgin Voyages. I know those videos haven't come out yet, but they will soon. And then we did MSC World America. So we were back to back to back cruises. And I was like, am I going to be able to keep this up having no home time, on the road, fully traveling? And the answer is yes, we did. I actually came home 5.5 pounds less than when I went on the trip. So that is a win. I will say that I don't think rapid weight loss is the way to go. I've been doing this slow and steady. I mean, 60 pounds over about a year, you know, we're looking at, it's a little over like pound and a half a week. Some weeks there's no weight loss. Sometimes there's 2 pounds. So it's averaging about 1.25 or 1.5 pounds a week. So I think that is a healthy way to lose weight. I'm not, you know, just dropping crazy amounts of weight. I'm actually building muscle too, so muscle weighs more than fat. Sometimes you'll step on the scale and you'll go up a little bit instead of down, and that can somewhat be disheartening, but when you're building muscle in the gym, etc., then you're gonna see that sometimes. So don't let a little bit of weight gain discourage you if you're still doing the right things. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna try and keep my thoughts coherent, but sometimes I will get a little scatterbrained because this is something that I've been living and breathing for this last year. Okay, so let's talk about this 1 month trip I was on, because I think that was a great example of how you can travel, eat healthy, exercise, and lose weight on the road. So on the first cruise, we were 10 days on Norwegian Aqua. What we did is every single day, we took the stairs, not the elevators. The only time I stepped foot on an elevator is if I had to go like 10 decks. Because sometimes you do. Sometimes you'll be on 16 and have to go to 6, or 6 and go to 16. That's a lot in one go, but anything less than 8 decks, we would walk it. And I'm saying we because me and Jason are doing this together. Let me throw some props at Jason real quick. About 5 years ago, he dropped 50 pounds. And he didn't really talk about it. He didn't really say anything except that he was doing kind of like a keto diet, lots of meat and vegetables, no carbs, no sweets. He doesn't have a sweet tooth like I do, so that was easier for him. And he did that just quietly and just did it. And he has really kept most of that weight off. I think, you know, his weight fluctuates a little bit here, a little bit there, but he has maintained this healthy lifestyle even when I was not. I was eating bad, not exercising, and he was still eating healthy and going to the gym. So he has really motivated me to get this going, and then in turn we motivate each other. So like when we go to the gym, sometimes I'll push him or he'll push me, and we'll just do a little bit more, a little bit more. We're kind of working together on this. So I'm gonna say we because I'm talking about both of us. So on Norwegian Aqua, we took the steps, took the stairs, did not take the elevator. That is huge. Also, what I do is I carry my phone in my pocket. I don't wear an Apple Watch because I don't like anything on my wrist. I barely wear jewelry. Oh, another little win. I can wear my wedding ring again. So many people commented, why aren't you wearing a wedding ring? And we got a lot of flack for that. It was because my hands were too fat. Literally, my hands were too fat for my wedding ring, and I couldn't wear it, and now I can. So I do have it back on. But taking the steps, walking around a big ship all day. There were no port days. This was 10 days at sea. I clocked in 70 miles in those 10 days. Literally 70 miles. So 2,000 steps approximately equals a mile. So I was able to look at what I was walking every day, and that was taking the stairs, walking around a big ship, and going to the gym almost on a daily basis, 70 miles in 10 days. That's pretty impressive. I do say so myself. Anyway, so that's what we did. We literally got in a routine of getting up every morning. Again, no port days, 10 days at sea, you start a routine. We would get up every morning and go to the gym. I even found that there were these cool little workout classes every morning in the atrium. And so after about day 4, I think I discovered these classes and started going to those. So going to the gym, going to these workout classes, walking, and then eating healthy. So both of us do intermittent fasting. We don't eat breakfast. We wait until noon, sometimes 11:30 for lunch, eat a healthy lunch. And on a cruise ship, it's actually very easy to make healthy choices. Yes, you can go get a burger. You can get fried everything, or you can eat the healthier options. And we found that we gravitated towards the meat and vegetables. And Aqua had great food, so it wasn't hard to do. You know, every day at lunch, we usually ate at the buffet because you can get in, get out, and get what you want to eat. And we would usually be there kind of when the buffet opened, so we got the first picks of everything, ate very healthy on that cruise, all 10 days. So I was very proud of us. And then we did quite a bit of specialty dining. And again, when you go and sit down at a specialty dining restaurant, you can look at the menu and there's always going to be, healthier options. Just try not to choose fried items. That's a big thing right there, because let's be honest, fried food tastes good, right? But fried food is loaded in calories. When you eat that fried fish and french fries, or burger and french fries, think about how many calories that is. Where if you make a healthy food choice, and I'm not saying the food's not gonna be good. It was good. It was really good food, but it was lower in calories than eating those unhealthy options. So that's kind of what we did on that 10-day cruise. We ate healthy, we made good food decisions, we walked a lot, and then we did the same thing on the next 2 cruises. I can't wait for you guys to see the Virgin Voyages cruise. We were only on the ship for 3 days, but on those 3 days, their gym is fantastic. They literally have the best gym on any cruise ship I've ever seen. We loved it. They do workout classes, and I'm talking 45 minutes of hardcore Zumba on the top deck of the ship with the wind blowing on you. And it was packed. Every workout class was packed. Virgin is very fitness forward, and I loved that about this cruise line. The food was healthy. They even have a completely vegetarian restaurant. We didn't eat vegetarian foods, but anyway, that's just not us. We do like our proteins, but they do have those options out there. So we were doing great 2 cruises in, and then we got on MSC World America and we kept it going. We went to the gym a lot. They have a great gym too. I love that the gym on MSC World, or any MSC ship that we've been on so far, is mid-ship. So it's high enough up to where you've got the ocean views off the side, and then you're looking down on the pool deck. So I thought that was great because you've got more stability mid-ship and you've got more to look at than just waves. Don't get me wrong, the ocean is awesome, but sometimes if you're like doing a treadmill or something like that, you can get a little bored not having anything specific to look at. We're looking down on the pool deck and seeing people move around, and then looking over here and you can see the ocean. That was fantastic. So all 3 of these cruises, we ate healthy. We did the intermittent fasting every day. And when I say intermittent fasting, so lunch is at noon. We try and have dinner before 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then no late night snacks. We did fail a little bit on MSC and had late night pizza a couple times, but when I do decide to splurge, and you have to splurge, because if you don't splurge, you're gonna go crazy. And that's when diets fail, is when you're so strict on yourself that you only eat these foods and only these foods, and you don't let yourself have what you love. You're gonna go off the deep end and gorge yourself, pig out, and gain weight back. So whenever we needed that late night pizza, I had 1 slice. 1. This is amazing pizza. Pizza's my favorite food on the face of the earth, and I'd only have 1 slice. You just learn that discipline, and you're having the little bit of things you like, but not overeating. So that's how we did it. And that was a month. And I came off of this month-long trip 5.5 pounds down. And I know a lot of people say, well, I get on a cruise and I always gain weight on a cruise. It's because it's the mindset of most people. And I did this for years and years and years, so that I would go on a cruise and I would a lot of times I would break even because I was very active on a ship, but there was many times I would cruise and gain weight. And it's because the food is so readily available. And if you're eating a large breakfast and a large lunch, and there's a midday snack and a dinner and then a late night snack. If you're eating 5 meals a day plus ice cream and whatever else, yeah, you're gonna gain weight. But we were able to do it, and neither one of us gained weight on those cruises. And we exercised, and it was great. We had a great time. We ate amazing food, but we did it on a healthy way. Okay, so that's how we do cruising, and this is what we've been doing since day 1. If you go all the way back to when me and Sophia went to Alaska last summer, that was the first cruise I had been on doing this regimen, and I did it. We would go into port every day, and then I would get back on the ship and I would walk the walking trail, or I would go to the gym, and I would eat healthy, and I would sit and watch her swim, and she would go get, ice cream, and I wouldn't. And I've been doing this for almost a year now, and it's not a struggle. And I feel good, and I'm eating healthy foods, and I'm eating good foods, and I'm losing weight while traveling full time. So it absolutely can be done. All right, so what about non-cruises? Because our life is not always on a cruise ship. We do other things too. So for instance, this is a good example. We just went to New Orleans for the weekend. We spent we spent 4 nights in New Orleans. We're supposed to only spend 3, but we added another night on. And what I have found when you're traveling in the U.S. is that the portions are huge. Absolutely huge. We overeat as Americans. We absolutely do, because the portions are so big and we've been taught to clean your plate. So if you're given this massive portion, you feel like, I need to eat all this food. I can't waste. There's starving people in the world and I'm wasting food here. But what you can do is share an entree. And that's what me and Jason have started doing, is that we will look at a menu and we will find something that we both agree on. And in New Orleans, seafood. Oh my God, we had the most amazing fish and seafood. And he likes oysters. So he would order oysters and I wouldn't eat them because I think they're disgusting. But oysters are not high in calories. Now, I mean, he'd have, they have butter and cheese and whatever, but still, even a whole plate of those, we're not talking a lot. Or the raw ones, I mean, there's hardly any calories in those at all. So he would have that as an appetizer, and then we would split an entree, and we were full. Even when we went to Jazz Fest, the portions at Jazz Fest were very small. I mean, we would have they were like this big for like a crab stuffed beignet, literally this big. We got 2 crawfish enchiladas, this big, and we each had one of them. So everything we got, we split. Even we did have some sweets because New Orleans has amazing food and you're gonna eat it. We had beignets. I only ate 1, he ate 2. But we were gonna just each have one, and then, that sad little beignet was sitting there and it had to get eaten. And we found a great ice cream place. But what I did is, and what I thought was great, is that this ice cream place actually had how many calories is in a scoop. So I was able to say, okay, that salted caramel ice cream that looks absolutely delicious is 330 calories for a scoop. I'm only going to get 1 scoop of ice cream. I'm not going to get the waffle cone. I'm not going to get the waffle bowl. I'm not going to put any toppings. And I knew how much I was eating. And that was the best 330 calories I think I've ever eaten in my life. It was so good. But anyway, again, what I'm saying is you have to let yourself have those good foods. But what did we walk in New Orleans? We were walking 15 to 18,000 steps a day because it's a walkable city. Everywhere we went, we were at Jazz Fest, walking all over the festival grounds. We were in the French Quarter, walking all around. We walked all the way to our restaurant in the Warehouse District. So if you know New Orleans, here's the French Quarter, here's the Central Business District, and way over here is the Warehouse District. Everything around here is very, very walkable. So when you go to a big city like this, any city, New York's the same, LA, any big city that you go to, just get out and walk. That's how you really discover a city anyway. So you can have those little treats because you're burning enough calories walking. Something else is when we stay in hotels, we tend to look for a hotel that has a gym. Do we always use it? No, but sometimes we do. For instance, New Orleans, we did not go to the gym because we were walking, 15 to 18,000 steps a day. We didn't feel the need to go to the gym. But on this month-long trip with the 3 cruises, we were cruise, and we had a day in Miami in between cruise 2 and 3. And we stayed in a apartment building. It was, a hotel/apartment, and it had an awesome gym and pool and everything. And we both went to the gym and we got our little workout in between these cruises. So it has to be a lifestyle. If you say, I'm gonna go on a diet and lose weight, you're going to fail in the long run. You might lose weight in the beginning, but if you don't change the way you think about food, if you don't change the way you think about exercise, if you don't change the way you think about travel and weight loss, it's not going to be as successful. So what we have done, we have to completely change the way we think. We go for the healthy food options 99% of the time. Gotta have that little fudge. We either walk a lot or we go to the gym, or a combination of both. Like on these long cruises, you can pick up 10,000 steps in a port day and go to the gym also. And then you're walking around the ship, man, you can clock in 15, 18,000 steps in a day. I'm also a big Disney fan. No secret there. Disney, oh my God, you can really clock some steps there. I think on this last trip, there was one day where me and Maddie did 4 parks in one day, and we clocked over 30,000 steps in a day. Now that's high end because we were literally covering all 4 parks. But on a low end, you're looking at 15, low end. So theme parks are a great, form of exercise, and they're fun. I can never say, that's like one of the best forms of exercise ever. Let me go ride some roller coasters and lose some weight. You absolutely can. It's all about mindset, because there's a ton of junk food in these theme parks, and you can walk 30,000 steps a day and take in a ton of calories and gain weight. But if you go into it thinking, okay, I'm gonna try and lose weight, and I'm watching everything I'm eating and still having those delicious treats, but sharing them with somebody, because again, portion sizes are huge. Or, getting a kid's meal. Yeah, I'm big on kids' meals at theme parks because honestly, it's the right amount of food for one person, and sometimes I can't even finish the kids' meal. It usually comes with a drink and like some fruit on the side that you can eat later if you want. So that's a good option. Again, American portions are too big. When you go to Europe, you realize how much we overeat in the US because the portions over there, not all European cities, but a lot, you get a plate and you're like, oh God, this is such a small portion. No, that's a normal portion. We eat too much in the US. So food for thought there. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. That's the bulk of it. I diet, I exercise, I have changed my lifestyle. For instance, what do we do at home? Okay, we're home right now. And at home, you can very easily fall into a routine of sitting on that couch and watching TV, or running a travel agency, sitting at my desk for 8 or 9 hours, and then hitting the couch and watching TV and doing no exercise. So at home, we have a little different mindset. We are blessed in that we do work at home for ourselves and we can make our own hours. So we try not to go to the gym early in the morning when most people are trying to go before work or after work. We go mid-morning, like 9, 10 o'clock. The gym's not that busy. We can get in, we can get all of the equipment that we want, and we're not fighting with other people. Where early or late, you're gonna have a crush of people at the gym. So that's what we do. So today, for instance, we got up, we got to the gym about 9:30. We spent about an hour at the gym, and what I do is focus on full body. So for instance, when us ladies lose weight, we tend to have this sagging of the arms. And if you see, I really don't. I can pinch a little bit here, but not too bad, because I make sure to work out my arms and my chest, because also, okay, maybe too much information for you guys working, but us ladies, when you lose weight in your chest, you may have a little saggage, and if you do a little chest exercise, you can kind of build that up. So anyway, I focus a lot on arms and chest, and I probably do a good 20 to 25 minute workout 2 to 3 times a week, because you can't do it every day. You got to kind of alternate your muscles. So I focus a lot on my upper body, and that way I don't have this. I've seen a lot of ladies who lose weight and don't exercise or only do cardio, and they've got that little wing under their arms. Nobody wants that. Do arm exercises. So I do that every day. I do cardio. Our gym has got the coolest bike. So you sit down, you pedal, and then it's got these arm, it's kind of like an elliptical, but you're sitting down. So it's an exercise bike, and I love it, and nobody else uses it, so I can always get on it. I usually do 20 minutes on that, 25 minutes on my arms. I do an elliptical for 5 to 10 minutes. I like a rowing machine. A rowing machine is great. It works all of your muscles because you're doing, your core, your legs, your arms, all full body. And I can't usually do more than 5 minutes on that because it is so intense, but that's something great to throw in every now and then. And then the Stairmaster. So I've gotten used to climbing the stairs on the cruise ship because I, even not on a cruise, do that Stairmaster. And that's how me and Jason end every workout, is 5 minutes on the Stairmaster. And 5 minutes is all you need, because if you're going at a good clip, I think I probably climb 20 floors in that 5 minutes. So very good workout, and it tightens the backside. So my point is, when you go to the gym, so many people are just I just need to walk on the treadmill, or I just need to ride the bike. No, you need to do weights. You need to do strength training, because that is what's toning your body. Because if you just lose weight and cardio is going to just help you lose weight, you're going to have that saggy skin. So toning up is very, very important. And that I focus at least half of my gym time on strength training. And then we're very blessed in where we live because our house is here. If you go 5 minutes down the road this way is a very nice brand new gym. And if you go less than 5 minutes this way, there is a park. And this park, it's a ball field. Basically, there's baseball fields on one side, soccer fields on the other, but there is a 1.5 mile track. So what we do is we go and we do this track twice, and we don't just walk it. And the walking is great because where we live is hilly, so you've got different inclines up and down. But when we get to each 1/4 mile marker, we sprint. So it's like walk and then sprint and then walk and then sprint. And that is changing, it kind of throws your body into shock because the walking, if you just walk 3 miles, your body gets used to those movements and it may not be as effective as if you walk, run, walk, run, walk, run. And we have found that's very effective for both of us. And you'll find that your fat areas kind of jiggle a little bit when you run. And what that's doing is that's literally shaking the fat off your body. So that's what else we've been doing. So we spent about an hour at the gym and about 45 minutes at the park. And we don't do this every day, but at least 4 times a week we do this. You do need rest days, especially like I worked my upper body very hard today. If I go to the gym tomorrow, I will not do any upper body training. I'll probably just do cardio tomorrow. And also it was very windy today, which was fantastic because what it did was give us that breeze because we're in Louisiana, it's hot already. And it was about 85 degrees today, but it felt nice because of that breeze. But by the middle of next week, we're going to be in the 90s. And I don't know how long I'm going to be able to sustain going to that park. I'll keep doing it as long as I can, but probably at some point midsummer, it's going to be a treadmill for me. And I can't stand being on a treadmill. I do it on cruise ships because that's a great option, especially ships that don't have like the outdoor walking trail. Props to Holland America. Every one of their ships has a deck that goes all the way around the ship on a lower level, so you're in shade most of the time instead of on those upper decks where you're like, dying in the sun the whole time, especially if you're in the Caribbean. Anyway, just throwing that out there. So anyway, that's our travel routine. That's our daily routine. And what do we eat at home? So if you do go back and look at some of those Trimmer for Travel videos, I did throw a lot of recipes in there. I do love just very, very simple chicken breast and then squash, zucchini, and onions. I can make a huge batch of that and then just heat that up every day after the gym or, if we don't go to the gym just for lunch, I still do that. That's one of my favorite things. I actually just placed a Walmart grocery order and I have all of that so I can make another batch because I'm out of it. But also I love these Healthy Choice frozen dinners because they're low in calories, they don't have preservatives, they're all healthy ingredients, and I can stockpile my freezer with that. And if I don't have any chicken cooked or I don't feel like cooking, I can pop one of those in the microwave and in 4 minutes I have lunch, a good healthy lunch. And we just found these power bowls and they have riced cauliflower instead of rice. So the whole meal is like 170 calories and it's good and it's, tastes good. It's healthy for you. It's all just very little bit of meat and all vegetables. So there's a lot of healthy options out there that you don't even have to cook. But we do cook here in the house. Jason's a great cook and we will cook like a large pot of something that we can eat on for days. Gumbo is great. We're not in gumbo season right now, but gumbo is a great thing to cook for us because it's literally chicken and sausage and broth and over rice. And that is a very balanced, healthy meal. But anyway, there's a lot of things, you find what you like, and doing meal prep, cooking a lot up in one time really helps in the long run. Sometimes it's a lot of work to do meal prep, but once you've done it, you've got food for days that you don't even have to worry about. You just heat it up in the microwave. Love that. Okay, so I have covered how we travel and we eat healthy and we exercise, and what we do at home and we eat healthy and we exercise. There's one thing that I have saved to the end for a reason, and a lot of people have asked me if I'm taking any weight loss medication. And I wanted to preface everything I've said up to this point. Yes, I am. But I am not using that medicine as a crutch. I'm using it as a tool. Could I have lost all this weight without it? Maybe. But what it did was give me that jump start I needed. And it kind of will help me get through those plateaus when I hit a plateau. So what am I taking? I am taking the semaglutide injections. I have a doctor that works with a compound pharmacy, and so I get it's the generic brand. They send me the vials, they send me the syringes, and I draw it myself and I inject it myself. So it's not the brand Ozempic, or I don't even know what the other brands are, but that is what I am doing. And you slowly progress. So you start at a very low dose, and even the highest dose is only like 2.5 milligrams. So it's not a high dose. This is really just, in my opinion, a tool. I am using this to get me through the hard parts, because the hard parts for me is I have a big appetite, or I did. It's what this medicine does is it helps cut your appetite out. So I am able to eat less and still be satisfied. And I'm able to eat the healthier options and less of them and still be satisfied. I do know people that have just used this medicine and they've lost weight, and you can do that. But what's happened with every one of them that did not change their lifestyle and did not exercise is that when they stopped taking the medicine, they gained it all back. So again, I am using this medicine as a tool, not a crutch. I am not using it just to lose weight. I'm using it to help me lose weight. And I feel like the way I have done this is I'm losing weight in a healthy manner. I am not planning on staying on this medicine forever. I have about 13, 15 pounds left to get to my target weight. And that target weight is losing 75 pounds total. And I know you're gonna be like, that's crazy. You don't need to lose that much weight. I'm gonna be transparent here. I weighed 98 pounds when me and Jason got married. 98 pounds. At my highest weight, I was 202 pounds. That's an entire human that I was carrying as fat on my body, okay? An entire human. So my goal is to get to 125 pounds. I don't think that's unreasonable for me. I have a very small frame. So even right now that I've lost all this weight, there are areas, mainly my belly, my inner thighs, and a little bit here on my arms, that I can tell I still need to lose weight. So although I think I look great compared to what I did a year ago, I still have a little bit room for improvement. So I'm not quitting the medicine just yet, but as soon as I get to that target weight, I am weaning myself off, and I don't plan on ever using it again. Again, I know people that have decided, I'm gonna get on this medicine, I'm just gonna stay on it for the rest of my life. And if that's the way you need to lose weight, that's up to you. That's not what I'm doing though. I don't think that taking something like that long term is maybe good for you. I know there's a lot of people that don't believe that you should take it at all. My daughter's one of them. She fusses at me for taking this medicine. But Jason understands. Jason understands that I needed this. I needed this to make me nauseous in the beginning, because it does. It will make you very nauseous when you start taking it. And what that's doing is that is your body telling you you're overeating. You don't need to eat as much as you're doing, because this medicine constricts how much you need. And when you get to that point where you're full and your body says stop and you don't listen, because in the beginning you don't, because you're like, but I want to finish this. I love this food and it's delicious and I want to eat it. And so you push yourself past that limit, you're going to get sick. You're going to get very nauseous. You may even throw up. It happened to me. But then once you learn to listen to your body, and your body is telling you, you don't need that much food. You just need this much food, not this much food. You get used to that. And so this medicine has helped me get past that mindset of thinking I need it to clean my plate. It helped me get past that mindset of I'm still hungry, I need to keep eating. Because when you get to a point, I was at this point, I literally ate anything I wanted, whenever I wanted. And that's why I gained as much weight as I did, because that's not the healthy mindset. Now I've completely changed the way I think. I've changed the way I live. I'm eating less, I'm eating healthy, and I'm exercising. And I have this tool in my back pocket that is helping me get along. And I'm not ashamed claimed that I've done that, but I did not start with that because I didn't want people to think, oh, she's just taking medicine, that's why she's losing weight. No, it's not. Because honestly, if you just took the medicine and you didn't do all these other things I'm doing, you wouldn't have lost as much as I did. And I think I'm going to keep it off because I've completely changed my lifestyle. Anyway, I hope this has helped. I hope that somebody out there maybe needed this video, that you're at that point in your life where you're like, I need to make changes and you don't know where to start. And I hope this will help you make that start. If you do have any questions, leave them down below. I will do my absolute best to answer every question that you have because I am happy with my life. I hated the way I looked for a while. I felt disgusted when I looked in the mirror. And now, oh my gosh, going back and watching videos, you know, YouTube can be mean. And I used to get a lot of comments about how fat I was and why are you eating and you need to stop eating. And I was at a point for a long time where I just didn't care. You know, I was like, I'm doing me, I'm eating this food, I like this, and I don't care what other people think. So you have to do this for yourself. I'm not doing this for our YouTube audience. I'm not doing this for Jason. I'm doing this for me because I need to feel better about myself. I need to be happy when I look in the mirror. I need to be happy when I can go, I just bought a smaller size. Oh my God, look how cute this swimsuit is. I can fit in jeans again. And those are the wins for me. Looking at a scale and seeing a number go down is incredible. But looking in the mirror and being happy with the person I'm seeing is so much better. So anyway, I know I've rambled on. This is a lot longer video than I planned on making, but I just feel very passionate about this. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you know somebody that is going through this, please share it with them. And continue watching our travel videos because I'm not going to do Tremor for Travel anymore, but you may have noticed that we're incorporating showing you at the gym or showing you us at the gym when we're on these cruises, showing you the healthier food options that we have been choosing. So we're incorporating the healthy lifestyle into our travel vlogs instead of making separate videos for them. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.